SuperTalk Mississippi Media production.
The Mid-Delta Auction Company Spring Consignment Public Auction is happening Friday, March 20th in Greenwood. Agricultural, construction, trucks and trailers, and more. Visit www.mdauction.com or call Will Jeffcoat at 662-299-2414.
I'm Steve Azar, and I'm on the other side of the microphone, meaning I'm asking the questions this time, and oh, have mercy for the airwaves. I spent 20 years in Music City, wrote and made some hits, traveled the world, and then moved my family back to the birthplace of American music and where the magnolia trees prosper. And now every time I put my feet on Mississippi soil, when I'm off the road, well, I'm at peace. On this show, it's all about hearing the stories straight from the mouths of the friends I've made along the way, their journey to success. Heck, there might be someone on, I don't even know, but you know how us Mississippi types are. We tend to take well to new company. In a Mississippi Minute, all 60 of them. I'm Steve Azar. It's just like that muddy river, moving slow. Ain't no worries, it's how life goes, baby. In a Mississippi Minute. Hey folks, time for another In a Mississippi Minute. I am Steve Azar, reminding you, as I often do, and I'm grateful for that, by the way, weekly into my 9th year now. What the heck's happened to 9 years? Visit Mississippi.org. We're the birthplace of America's music. So many incredible artists that changed the landscape of the world, influenced it. I'm hoping today's guest has a little bit of inspiration from where we grew up here. We're about to dig deep because he's done some incredible things and still doing it. Because as long as we're alive, we're going to keep going. He definitely is one diverse and bustling music scene back in the day on the West Coast. My guest is the bassist, fiddler, guitarist, singer, chief songwriter of Seattle-based band Marley's Ghost. Their dozen albums put out to date is far more versatile than to be confined into a genre. Sounds like he's from Mississippi, but boast more of a broad bluegrass, Americana, and acoustic feel. Marley's Ghost has been around since the 80s and is celebrating their 40th anniversary as a band coming up. Their last album, Traveling Shoes, was released in 2018. So there has been probably a lot of creativity going on in this man's mind for sure, in his band. That one was produced by acclaimed producer Larry Campbell, Bob Dylan, Levon Helm. The list goes on there. They have some pretty exciting stuff going on right now. Currently, a new album in the works. It's going to be out in May. And they're also headlining the Strawberry Music Festival in May in Jamestown, California. I'm pretty sure we did that back about 15 years ago. My guest today has not only worked with Marley's Ghost, but is also so well-rounded and astounding career in the music industry, having collaborated with John Denver and touring with him for a decade. Please welcome singer-songwriter, instrumentalist, really good guy of Marley's Ghost, Dan Wheatman. Hey, Dan.
Hey, Steve. How you doing today?
I'm good. Are you in Seattle?
I'm in Seattle, yeah.
You guys have had nothing to cheer about. Nothing. Are you a big Seahawks fan?
I'm not. I'm not a big,
I love that.
I'm not a big football fan to begin with, but the town sure is. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like crazy.
Yeah.
Like crazy. Amazing.
It's so amazing. All right. So, we got to start with John Denver, and I know you get that a lot, but I have to because I had a teacher, Miss McGaw, who was a huge mentor of mine. And the one thing she would have let me do is get out of a test if I played her Annie song in high school. And I'm going to tell you something. I used and abused that song for that reason. But eventually my voice would change, and I'd go through the alfalfa moments, Yeah. And then my voice got a little deeper, so I couldn't hit those notes. I had to figure out how to lower the key. But talk about how you and John's relationship got started. Did you guys write a lot? Obviously on the road with him. Give me the skinny.
Well, I came to Aspen in 1969 and met this band called Liberty. And they were a bluegrass band, and I went to see them one night, and we were standing out in front of the club where they were playing. And John, who used to like to come and hear the band, walked up, and Vic, the bass player, introduced me, and then we went inside. They called him up on stage, and he came up. He had recorded a song that the banjo player had written. And they did that song, and then he called everybody up into a huddle, and talked to them for a little bit. And then he turned around and he said, I just wrote this song. It's the first time I'm playing it. And he played Matthew.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. And that was the first time I met him. He played Matthew.
That is not fair.
And it is like my favorite John Denver song.
Oh, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So then fast forward, we went out on the road. I ended up joining Liberty. We went on the road as an opening act. We recorded for John's label Windstar.
Mm-hmm.
And we did a tour like that. And at the end of the tour, the band went off and we were working with John's people. And then we switched over working with Bill McEwen, who was the Dirt Band's manager.
Yeah.
And he was also managing this comic. So we went out as the opening act for the comic. That was Steve Martin.
Gary Mule Deer is an old friend of mine.
Oh, he's a dear friend of mine. I
love him
yesterday.
I'll get out of here. Well, he's been on my show. Obviously he was his roommate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know the story?
Yeah, I know the story, but go ahead. If you want to talk about it, our listeners probably.
Steve had just got hired for the Smothers Brothers show, and he was having writer's block. And Tommy Smothers, who was the brains of the outfit, came up to him one day and said, we're doing a bit on television. You're writing the intro. And Steve went to his office and he couldn't come up with anything. Wow. So he called Gary Mule Deer and he said, Gary, you got to help me. And he says, well, what is this on TV? He says, okay, TV, the most watched appliance in the house. It worked, and it broke Steve's writing block. And then he went on to be Steve Martin.
He didn't tell me that story. He told me other stories, but he didn't tell me that. It's good. I'm glad to get a little bit more there.
Yeah.
So continue. So you're.
So we went out as an opening act, and we started working with Steve Martin, and then we came to a place where, after a couple of years, guys in the band decided, well, one of the guys wanted to move back to California. We were going to replace him. Couldn't find a replacement. The band broke up. I went to Austin with Jimmy Dale Gilmore and a couple other folks and spent a month down there playing, the Armadillo and a bunch of places.
Sure.
I got back to town and there were 2 phone calls. And the first one was from the band, and they said, look, we haven't found anybody to replace the guitar player, so we're just going to break up. I said, okay. And I called the second number, and it was Chris O'Connor. That was John Denver's road manager. And he says, John's thinking about adding some singers. Would you like to come and sing bass?
I love it, timing.
So in 15 minutes, I was out of a band and in a band.
I've got bad news and I've got good news for you. Right
so
there.
I did a couple gigs, just mostly as a singer, played a little harmonica, and we played Harrah's. And John would go and do a week at Harrah's. And Steve Weisberg, who was the pedal steel guitar player and acoustic guitar player, in the middle of the set, John would step out to the edge of the stage and they'd drop a scrim. And then there were these 2 little alcoves on either side, and a scrim would come up and there was a string quartet. And John would do a couple songs with the string quartet. He would do any song with the string quartet.
Yeah.
And while he was doing that, Steve Weisberg decided he would tune his steel guitar, but left the amplifier on.
Nice.
And John's manager was sitting in the audience that night. So that was the last tour that Steve did. In October,
no forgiveness there. No.
Yeah, in October, they went into the studio to do a new album, and so to replace Steve, they hired James Burton.
Oh, I know James. He's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they hired James Burton. It was sort of Elvis's band.
Sure.
They hired Glenn D. Harden on piano. Hal Blaine was playing drums. Emery Gordy was playing bass. They hired
Herb
Peterson to play banjo. Mm-hmm. And they called me up. They said, we're going to Australia in November. You're now the fiddle player.
Oh, my God. Okay, time out real quick. We got to take a break. I want to stay on that fiddle part. I'm wondering, do you even know how to play fiddle yet? Or we'll figure this out in a second.
Okay.
I have a feeling you're going to figure it out if you didn't. We're with Dan Wheatman of Marley's Ghost. Obviously, we're talking to his time with John Denver. I could listen to this all day and night. Visit Mississippi.org. Check it out. Plan a road trip. Eat your way around Mississippi. You won't regret that. Well, you'll get full, but it'll be all right. I'm Steve Azar with the wonderful Dan Wheatman. We'll be right back.
We're gonna reach the light, but it's a hard road, baby, that we're moving on down tonight.
Listen and watch all your favorite SuperTalk Mississippi shows live and on demand. Listen to tons of music. Plus, get the latest breaking news from across the state with the SuperTalk Mississippi app. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Download the SuperTalk app on your iPhone or Android device now for free. Just search SuperTalk Mississippi in your app store on your mobile device to get everything Mississippi all in one place. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Get it now. Mississippi.
When you've done all you need to do, and you've had more trouble than you can use, and you've painted every road that you can find.
Love talking to this man. I don't want this Mississippi Minute to end. Visit Mississippi.org. Digs what Dan Wheatman has done and is doing over the span of his illustrious career. And we're talking John Denver right now. All right, let's keep going here. So can you play fiddle at this time? Or are you going to learn how?
I played some fiddle.
Some fiddle.
When you think about the band that I'm now playing with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just the best guys in the world.
Sure, you can't leave your amp on for sure, and you get fired. So let's talk about this. So were you already playing banjo?
Well, I play banjo, yeah, but I didn't play banjo. They hired Herb Peterson to play banjo.
Okay.
All right. We were going to Australia. We were going to meet in New Zealand. I was already in Europe. I was in Italy. They went to Hawaii and had a couple days of rehearsal and then flew to New Zealand. I met them in New Zealand, and the first time I met and played with those guys was an outdoor, 20,000. It was like a big soccer field. And Steve, I hardly remember anything about that.
I mean, were you were you just a little bit uncomfortable? Like a little bit just.
All those guys were on all my albums at home because they played with freaking everybody.
Sure.
The next gig was the Opera House in Sydney, and they were filming it. And so, at the end of Thank God I'm a Country Boy, the whole band stops and the fiddle goes, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, we ran through the sound check, and then I'm standing backstage and I'm just going, ba-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da, just to try to nail that double stop. And Emery Gordy walks past me and says, "You've known about this gig for weeks, Wheatman. It's no time to rehearse." I swear my knees buckled there.
That's like the time a priest told me right before I did the national anthem on national TV at a NASCAR thing. Don't forget the words, buddy. I mean, come on, you don't do that. You don't do that. Those are the two things you don't do. Anyway, so you obviously pulled it off, and you felt comfortable. So for people out there that want to understand, as professional as you are at this point, and you hadn't had the rehearsals, and you're coming into this thing. When do you really get your feet under you and you feel like where it's just walking and chewing gum at the same time, it becomes easy?
Well, we were in Australia for about a month playing different gigs, and sort of by the end of that, and the other thing is the band, those guys who were superstars were the nicest guys in the world.
Sure.
And they had nothing but respect and help for me. And I mean, I would stay up until 2, 3 in the morning with Glenn Harden talking about music. And that was really my musical education, was working with those guys.
You and I both know you grow up and you meet musicians along the way, and then you get to a certain point. To me, and I've said this a lot, and I think you're going to feel the same way. You just said that, but the great ones, the ones that are really great, have done incredible things in the music business, are usually pretty much the nicest ones, and the ones that want to mentor you, and the ones that you appreciate. They lift you up rather than break you down a certain way. They're just helpful as heck, man. I mean, so I love hearing that. Obviously, you became friends with these guys, but guess what? They had mutual respect for you, and you're humble, and they're humble, and that's why it worked. I can see that. Can we talk a little bit about Marley's Ghost and how this name happens for the band? And you're talking 18 albums. You're talking 40 years, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about your band and the guys that have been with you. How many original members are still around and still doing it? And tell me about this new album.
Okay. Marley's Ghost started the last year I played with John. In fact, I have a dear friend, Ed Littlefield. He's in the band. He plays mostly steel guitar, but he plays a bunch of instruments. And he had moved to the Northwest. And I was doing my last tour with John, and we played the Washington State Fair. And I called Ed up and I said, I'm with this crazy great band. You got to come and hear it. So he came and he said, well, what are you doing after this? I said, well, I was recently divorced. I was going to get my kids. I had some money. I was going to run a place and spend some time with my kids. And he said, well, I've built a recording studio. Why don't you come up and do an album in my studio? Now, the spring of, this was 86, October. That spring, I had got together with 2 old friends, and we had played. The first gig was they wanted a band that could play traditional Irish music and dance music for a St. Patrick's Day thing. So we went right from there to the Strawberry Music Festival and played there and got asked to come back. So I called those guys up and said, look, I'm in the studio. You come up and play on my album. We'll do a Marley's Ghost album, and we'll have something to sell when we go back. So they came up. Ed sat in, and he never left.
I love that.
And
he never left.
When we started the band, both John Wilcox, and the 4 original guys are still in the band.
Wow.
And then about 10 years later, Jerry Fletcher, my best friend, who I knew, he was in the junior high school band, the hot band that played mostly Beatles stuff. And I was in the high school band that played Rolling Stones and Animals and stuff. And we met when he was in junior high. He's a great drummer, great piano player. So we hired him as a drummer. We did a couple albums with Cowboy Jack Clement.
Oh, sure. Oh my gosh.
And
I love it. I can see him walking in the room right now.
Jack really liked the way that Jerry played piano, so he brought another drummer in. And then we had to get another drummer because we'd recorded all this stuff with drums and piano. For a little while, Jerry actually set up a little keyboard next to the drums and would play keyboard and drums at the same time. Like,
no way. How did he do that?
Very well, actually.
Yeah. He's got an extra arm, extra leg. What does he got?
Keep the time with left hand and played the keyboard with his right hand.
I haven't seen that. I just haven't seen that.
We hired Bob Nichols, and the last album we recorded with, we did 2 albums with Cowboy, and the second one we called up actually a guy. I have done a lot of theater work, writing plays and being in plays.
Oh, wow.
And I was in Virginia at one point doing this play that I'd written, and there was a gal doing another play based on the Carter family. And her husband came. He'd been on the road with a guy named Bob Dylan. It was Larry Campbell.
Wow, man. And
Larry, who is just the sweetest guy in the world and loves old-timey music, and the play that I had written about coal mining had a lot of old-time music in it and some other players, and we would sit up at night and just play in the kitchen. So we became friends, and we called him up to come and do some work on the album, the last album with Cowboy, and also to just see how it would work because we wanted him to produce.
Yeah.
So it went
great producer.
Yeah, and it went really well, and he loved the band. Whoops, I lost you.
That's all right. I got you now.
Okay.
Let's take a quick break. Stay right there because it's too interesting. My man Dan Wheatman is taking us on the musical journey. Visit Mississippi.org. Check it out. We'll be right back. I'm Steve Azar.
Come on back to Memphis. Come on back to Memphis.
Up to $20,000 available for first-time home buyers. Hey folks, Steve Azar here. Helping is the heart of our friends at Guarantee Bank. They offer programs like the Home Buyer Equity Leverage Partnership Grant that can assist qualified first-time home buyers with up to $20,000 towards down payment and provide home ownership counseling to empower you on your journey. These funds are first come, first served. Learn more about this program and to apply now, go to gbtonline.com. Guarantee Bank, member FDIC.
Listen and watch all your favorite SuperTalk Mississippi shows live and on demand. Listen to tons of music. Plus, get the latest breaking news from across the state with the SuperTalk Mississippi app. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Download the SuperTalk app on your iPhone or Android device now for free. Just search SuperTalk Mississippi in your app store on your mobile device to get everything Mississippi all in one place. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Get it now.
From the sea.
In a Mississippi Minute with Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi.
Yeah, I've been down, I've been beaten, I've been cheated. You see it in the way I walk, and read it on my weary face.
Back with Dan Wheatman. I'm loving today. I'm telling you right now, it's a beautiful day. Even though it's cloudy as heck outside, there's sunshine on this recording right now. I can promise you. Visit Mississippi.org knows the sunshine in Mississippi. Hallowed ground. Take a ride on the Blues Trail. Yeah, Dan.
I got to back up a little bit.
Come on, back up.
Because before we recorded with Cowboy Jack Clement, we did an album with Mississippi's favorite son, Van Dyke Parks.
Nice. When did that happen?
Out of Hattiesburg. When did that happen? We did that one with him, then we did the 2 with Cowboy, then we've done 3 with, so it was a while back.
You were working with some incredible producers. I mean, a lot of times it doesn't work with incredible producers. Did you have any misses with some producers you thought maybe would be great? Or are you guys just always gelled with every big time producer?
No, because we generally spend a little time beforehand. How it feels, how the vibe is.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if you know Nick Forster. You know Nick Forster from Hot Rise?
I don't know Nick.
Yeah, and he has a show called E-Town, a radio show called E-Town. Just a great musician, great musician. He also did a couple early albums with us too, and everybody has worked great.
As the industry sort of, a lot of these guys get really successful. I'm not talking about Cowboy, and I'm not talking about any of these guys, but I have run into them at certain times in my career where they're just too busy. I mean, and they just don't give you the time before. And even with one big producer, I'd been doing everything on my own in my own studio. And then he went in and re-recorded everything. And then the label liked everything that I did. And then he goes, why don't we just do what you're doing? And let me just be a sidekick. And I said, well, you never asked me. You never let me tell you. You never let me show you until you spent $100,000. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't working like that for me. So anyway, I actually had to sign off on $150,000 for him for something we never used, and we ended up using mine, and I got nothing for it, except I got to put my album out and got to tour and all that. So I got plenty for it. But but we were doing things backwards. We weren't taking the time. Now, the producer, Rafe Van Hoy, and I, when we worked at his house in the studio, we turned it, my first album that I had hits on, we were together, we were alone, we were all into each other, and it was working, and you could tell. And so we spent no money on that, and we turned it over, and that's when things started rocking. But in that time before, so important that you can find out if it's going to work or not. And also you're getting sort of prepped, and you're getting locked in together.
You got to learn the language. You got to learn each other's language to create.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. Yeah. And you think about it as a creator, when it's feeling really good, is there anything better? It's just so wonderful.
And whether you're in the studio or on stage.
Yeah, we got multiple layers, right?
Yeah.
Writing, you go from writing, and then you go in the studio, and it's its own thing, and the exhilaration and the feeling and the happiness, right? And then you get to the stage, and there's another whole place. It's like there's all these different, like you're serving appetizer, and then you have a great meal, and then you have dessert. It's all there, but you just it takes a while, but it is rewarding once you can finally get something documented on record, and then all of a sudden you're out playing it live, and it's working, and the band feels great about it, and it's just the result of it all is just a great place to be.
Yeah. And the band, I don't know, it gelled from the very beginning.
Yeah.
And it's a real vocal centric kind of we do a lot of a cappella singing,
What are the pieces in most cases when you're at records? What do y'all, what's your
it's a mix. We have attempted to do a couple, the first ones were all over the map, just a mixture of original stuff and stuff that because we share a pretty big musical background.
Yeah.
John and I are more into the reggae side of things, and John and Mike are more into the straight bluegrass kind of things. I'm a real old-timey, frail banjo, fiddle kind of a guy, but
But it works.
Yeah.
Why do you have to why can't you be versatile if that's what it is? If it's honest.
Yeah.
They used to call it focus, right? You go, you're not focused or whatever. Now these days, people are putting out songs, and you can hop from one side of the world to the other, and listeners don't care. They as long as it's good and it's honest and authentic. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say it's come to that now, but when we started, I used to say, we'd like to play some of the stuff that's kept us out of the big time for so long.
That's funny. And you knew, right?
Yeah.
But those are the things you got to play, right? For yourself. Yeah. And the audiences love it. They love it. Back in the days when we grew up, before vinyl came back, and vinyl was in our day, right? It was, those hidden tracks, man, somewhere deep into the album. And you're going like, what is that? Please play that at your concert. Some of the best songs were laid on the record that, they weren't hits,
Yeah.
Can you take me back to growing up? Like, when did it happen for you?
Well, I always sang, and I have an interesting memory. I remember lyrics. Like when I was young, I could hear a song 1 or 2 times and I could sing it back to you.
Wow.
But that came, and I was the lead singer in the rock and roll band. You know, I played a little bit of harmonica. So I didn't have the musical side of things. Look,
you weren't playing any other instrument but harp, and you were singing.
Yeah.
Your high school days?
Yeah. And into my first year of college. And then that's when I got into playing banjo and guitar.
What made you pick up banjo?
Yeah.
I'm just thinking out loud.
All right. Do you know the song Bluebird by
Sure.
Listen to my bluebird.
Yeah.
The very end of that song, there's a guy named Charlie Chin who was a New York frailer. And at the very end of that song, everything comes down and it goes, I heard that sound and I went, damn, I gotta. But the thing, Steve, I didn't know the difference between 4-string banjo, 5-string banjo, bluegrass banjo, old-timey banjo. So I got a banjo and a chord book, and
you went at it.
And I was kind of playing more like pizza parlor, you know, just chordal stuff. But I carried that damn thing around on my back all the time. In my first year of college, I was walking along and a guy walked up and said, "Hey, can I see your banjo?" and he could frail.
Oh, wow.
And so we ended up starting a jug band, and I sold him the banjo, and I bought a 12-string guitar. So I went from one instrument you can't tune to another instrument.
You can't tune. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, come on. I mean, That's so funny. So after you learned to play banjo, how difficult or how easy was it to grab the 12-string and go at it? I mean, like what?
You know, the basic stuff on guitar came pretty easy. And I did this thing where I'd leave it out of the case, and then whatever I was working on, I would play before I went to bed. And the first thing in the morning when I got up, I would play it again. And things would work themselves out in your brain overnight. Mm-hmm. And I was playing, I started getting into a lot of like Mississippi John Hurt and, you know, fingerpick stuff at that point. So.
Wow. Let's get into the break real quick. That's awesome. We can stop with Mississippi John Hurt. Visit Mississippi.org. Understands the magic of Mississippi John Hurt. Check it out. We're with Dan Wheatman today. What a career. What a guy. We'll be right back.
It's alright. I'll be okay. Starting today. I'll be okay. Starting today.
Up to $20,000 available for first-time home buyers. Hey folks, Steve Azar here. Helping is the heart of our friends at Guarantee Bank. They offer programs like the Home Buyer Equity Leverage Partnership Grant that can assist qualified first-time home buyers with up to $20,000 towards down payment and provide home ownership counseling to empower you on your journey. These funds are first come, first served. Learn more about this program and to apply now, go to gbtonline.com. Guarantee Bank, member FDIC.
Listen and watch all your favorite SuperTalk Mississippi shows live and on demand. Listen to tons of music. Plus, get the latest breaking news from across the state with the SuperTalk Mississippi app. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Download the SuperTalk app on your iPhone or Android device now for free. Just search SuperTalk Mississippi in your app store on your mobile device to get everything Mississippi all in one place. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Get it now.
Hey, this is Bob, just walking in here, ESI Supply. Robert, FR clothes are big here.
Yeah, we sell a lot of flame-resistant FR clothing to industry that are working in the plant environments and oil and gas industry where they need flame-resistant clothing. So if you have needs for FR-rated clothing, ESI is your number one source.
Stop by and see them at 111 Aerosmith Drive in Richland, or give them a call at 601-933-4910. That's 601-933-4910, or online at esisupply.net.
If you're about to start a project or remodel with wood, you need to think Miller Lumber in Richland. Since 1953, we've built a solid reputation of supplying quality wood at a lower price, like Western Red Cedar and Cypress Lumber, as well as a wide variety of patterns in pine, cedar, and cypress. Shop Miller Lumber for the best price new pine flooring and treated lumber in town. Miller Lumber, 551 Old Highway 49 South in Richland. Visit MillerLumberSales.com, 601-936-7099.
At Fillmore Buick GMC, we strive to make buying your next vehicle easy and take care of you long after you drive off the lot. That means upfront and honest pricing, doing everything we can to make the time you spend in the dealership as short or as long as you need. It means we understand that purchasing a vehicle is more than just a transaction for you. We want you to enjoy the experience as much as we appreciate your business. Find your next Buick, GMC, or pre-owned vehicle at FillmoreBuickGMC.com. Fillmore Buick GMC. You drive everything we do.
You ever wonder why Wrinkle Guide to the dentist?
Hey, what? Hey, what?
And what's worse than a trip to the dentist? Your wife's paint project that you've put off. Let Seabrook Paint in Jackson and Ridgeland find that Benjamin Moore paint and a contractor that will get you back doing the important things in life, like grilling and watching sports. Seabrook, Benjamin Moore Paint, and a happy wife, happy life. Seabrook Paint in Jackson on Monument and in Ridgeland on West Jackson.
First down. You already know that Madison Cellars is Madison's favorite place to buy wine and spirits since 1988. On Highway 51 in the Madison Station Shopping Center, Madison Cellars has a hometown feel with a big city selection. Do you have a question about which wine to serve with a certain dish? Call 601-856-0931 and let their knowledgeable staff help you find the perfect match. Find out more at MadisonCellars.net or stop by today. Madison Cellars on Highway 51 in the Madison Station Shopping Center.
Hi, I'm Brad Phillips from Yazoo City, Mississippi. I'm proud to be Mississippi's Catfish Farmer of the Year. Catfish farming takes a lot of hard work, but it's worth it to provide your family the best, freshest, healthiest fish available. When you buy U.S. catfish, you get that perfectly mild flavor every time. And you're supporting local jobs. Always look for the U.S. Farm-Raised Catfish Seal. Find recipes and restaurants at uscatfish.com.
This is professional ball player and former Mississippi State Bulldog, Jake Mangum. You can't make it in life without making good choices. Choices like living healthy, going to school, taking care of your family, and insurance through Farm Bureau. With their exceptional customer service and competitive insurance rates, they're a good choice anyone can make. If you aren't already on the team, it's time to join Farm Bureau. Visit favrates.com for great rates on home and auto insurance. Or find a local agent at msfbins.com. Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team.
This is House Call for Health. A recent survey finds 1/3 of Americans make financial sacrifices in order to pay health care bills. That's according to findings by the West Health Gallup Center on Healthcare in America. Roughly 82 million people in the U.S. are making sacrifices, including skipping meals, driving less, and taking medications less than prescribed. Households making less than $24,000 per year feel the financial strain the most, while 1/4 of those earning $90,000 to $120,000 a year also say they make trade-offs to pay for healthcare expenses. In a separate survey by the center, some adults also reveal they were delaying major events, including getting surgeries, changing jobs, and buying a new home because of high healthcare costs. The study looked at roughly 20,000 adults and was conducted from June through August of 2025. For more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Miss a ride. In a Mississippi Minute with Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi.
Drove away my dream come true. just like tonight.
We got a very short segment left. I can't stand that. I wish we had a Mississippi decade to talk to the wonderful Dan Wheatman. We're going to get him down to Mississippi sometime. Visit Mississippi.org. I mean, they totally get what Dan's been doing his whole life. And he loved the Beatles, but the Beatles loved Elvis. So it all comes back to Mississippi. I can't help it, Dan. I had to do it. All right. So Dan, you were doing this 12th string thing. When does your songwriting thing start to kick in?
Pretty early on. You know, I used to just make up little things as I was walking along, but once I learned to play guitar, you know, I started writing Dylan songs, you know.
Yeah. Well, it was a time you were in that time, an era as part of the process, right?
Yeah.
It's your journey. That's not a bad one to follow, by the way.
And then, yeah. What did Arlo Guthrie say? The worst thing is being downstream from Dylan if you're trying to write.
That's true. No, you're not going to make it upstream. You're done. All right. Yeah. So, first song that you had success with?
Well, I'll tell you, my biggest success was when I was with John. And I got this call and they said, we're going into the studio in July and we're going to record a Christmas album with the Muppets.
Well, look, Kermit back there. You see him.
So I thought, well, I'm going to see if I can write a Christmas song. So I wrote this song and I took it in, and what we did was John and the band, we went in first and recorded all the music. And then all the guys from the Muppets came in and put their voices on. And
I remember that album. Yeah.
Well,
big album. Yeah.
Jim Henson walked in and heard my song and said, oh man, this is a Kermit song.
Wow. Did you just love that?
Boy, did I ever.
Wow.
Man. I don't know if you believe in Christmas.
Yes, that's so great. You wrote that.
Yeah.
Get out of here. You know, he created all these Muppets 9 miles from where I'm sitting right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's where we live. Our neighboring town is Leland and Deer Creek, and it's basically our Greenville. So we're neck and neck, and so it's a big part of our history down here. You know, Pierre Leroux, great hockey player. I had him on once, and I said, how did you learn English? He goes, well, I know it's still broken, but I came over from Canada, from Quebec, I think, and I knew zero English. So I watched Sesame Street. And he said, that's how I learned. I said, come on. He goes, no, I learned from the Muppets. And I said, come on. So there you go. All right. So that's one of the great, by the way, that song's incredible. That album is insane. So I know most people listening have got to go, oh, we've heard that album. That blows my mind. We don't have a ton of time. I want to know about this new album that's coming out with Marley's Ghost in May.
Okay. Larry Campbell did 2 albums with us, one on old-timey music and a gospel album. And then we went in and did a honky-tonk album and just did, you know, like sort of 50s, early 60s honky-tonk songs and lots of fiddle and steel guitar and, you know, Detour and a couple Hank Williams tunes, you know, just the whole brought a lot of singing, and it was great fun, you know. It's a really fun album. I mean,
when did y'all cut it?
We did it at our studio here in Washington.
It's done.
Yeah, it's done. It's all ready to go, and we've just been waiting for the 40th anniversary celebration of the band to use that as, you know, another push.
Yeah. And it's how much will you tour? And I know you can extend the tour as things go on and all that, but what is it like for you guys when you make records now, touring wise?
Well, at this point in our life, Steve, I'll tell you,
I hear you.
We're not out there like we used to be.
Yeah.
But we usually set up like a week or so. So we'll get together, have a few days of rehearsal, go out, be on the road for a week.
Album's out, Marley's Ghost. this May. Check it out and go back and listen to everything, obviously, they did, and obviously the famous song on John Denver's Christmas record that my man wrote, the one that Kermit the Frog sang. I mean, come on. That says it all. Later on, Dan. Thank you, brother.
All right, Steve. Take care, man.
Visit Mississippi.org. Can I say it again? Blessings, everybody. Have a great weekend.
I'm Steve Azar. In a Mississippi Minute, all 60 of them, where you can take your sweet time.
A SuperTalk Mississippi Media production.